This is your weekly trip to paradise, Louisiana style, with Gary Risponi and Don Dubuque. Paradise, Louisiana is presented by Rotolo's Pizzeria. Fresh ingredients, friendly service. That's just the way we Rotolo. Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. Pro Drive Outboards. Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Cracker Barrel Convenience Stores. We have more than you expect. Always fresh, never frozen, Raising Cane's. Louisiana Fish Fry Products. And by CCA Louisiana and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament.
Welcome to this week's edition of Paradise, Louisiana. Don, here we are again. Badgerons, Boudin, Cajun Meats here in Fort Allen, Louisiana.
And the restaurant, don't forget, they got a restaurant here too.
Oh, they got it all here. They got it all here, and the food smells so good. I think you like that because it makes me hurry up. I know you always want to get through and go on, so we're going to make this quick there. We got a busy week. We made the rounds all over. We got fishing rodeos, fishing tournaments, media days, Don, and we got a lot of news, and some of it very important.
Yeah, we got some special guests going to be joining us. Rad Trasher with CCA, a really big weekend for those guys. Also, Sam Barbera, the new Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Foundation director, is going to join us. He was at the Catholic High Rodeo. You and I and Chris Lecoq and Gary Krause and a bunch of other media folks went down to the Golden Meadow Fouchon Tarpon Rodeo Media Day. That big rodeo is coming up 4th of July weekend, and we'll tell you a lot more about that. But it just so happened it was the federal water season, a 3-day season, opening day for red snapper. We had a great trip. My offshore boat went out with Captain Chris Moran. Rad was aboard on the boat. I had him now. I'm nicknaming him Ginger and Mary Ann. Linda Kutcher and Martha Spencer from WGNO TV were on the boat. And we got some great footage, had a great time. Also, Eddie Kaye, who was working real hard with the rodeo. And also the Admiral was on board too.
Right,
Howie was with us too.
Yeah.
Now your boat went inshore. We're going to show you that probably another week, but we got
Yeah,
enough to cover this week.
Captain John, the tremendous John Captain. So we see that, and we also had somebody from the Port Commission that was on the boat with us, and a young lady that really caught some redfish. We got some great video of that too. So can't wait to see it next week. So just stay tuned to Paradise, Louisiana, because we got a lot coming up.
And it's coming up right after this. You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Hey, I'm Mitch Rotolo, owner of Rotolo's Pizzeria. Our pizzas are prepared every day using the freshest ingredients. But Rotolo's has so much more to offer than just delicious pizza. We have an array of healthy salads and tasty wraps, a wide choice of pasta like spaghetti and chicken parmesan, zesty buffalo wings, and our selection of savory calzones. And don't forget to try one of our amazing desserts. Come into any of our local restaurants or check out our entire menu online at rotolos.com. That's just the way we Rotolo.
You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
The CCA Louisiana Star Tournament is doubling down this year. Double the tagged redfish. Twice the trucks. Over $500,000 of prizes awarded in more than 20 categories. Open to all ages, inshore and offshore, youth enter free. Don't let your chance to win swim away. Register at ccastar.com or at any Academy Sports and Outdoors. Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana, and I don't want to sound like Nostradamus or any other prophet, but Brad Trasher, you and I sat here just a few weeks ago, and we predicted exactly what happened this weekend was going to happen with regard to the Star Tournament. Tell us the stories.
Well, you know, we had a very slow opening Memorial Day weekend, and quite frankly, I was kind of disappointed. We didn't have a tag redfish caught that we knew about, but that all changed last weekend. So Friday, I got a call at midday from a guide that caught one and discovered it back at the dock. So obviously an unregistered angler. Then Friday evening, I got a call from Jason Toombs. He caught one in Lafitte as well, right outside the pen. And he's registered. In fact, it's a really funny story. We put up a picture of a redfish outside 2 channel markers and said, you know, anybody know where this is? And we saw guesses from all over the state. Well, Jason pulls his boat up, takes a picture of his boat from the console with the exact same picture saying, "Here, fishy, fishy." Posted that on Monday. On Friday, he catches the winning fish. So he's registered. Obviously, we have to go through the normal procedures of polygraph and further examination, but I think Jason's going to be the winner of a brand new Chevy Silverado.
Does he qualify for the Louisiana Sportsman bonus? Do we know that?
He does not. He is not a subscriber. So he definitely left $10,000 on the table, and that will carry to the next person that's a winner. And then Saturday morning, we had a third fish caught. This one was at one of the weirs on Rockefeller Refuge, and by nice young lady, Tracy from Houston, didn't know anything about it, brought it into Dago's down south of New Iberia. And unfortunately, she's going to taste what a $40,000 Chevy Colorado tastes like. So she would have won the second one. So the prize money from Sportsman's still out there. And my guess, we will be giving away the Silverado, but then we got a Colorado and 8 Nautic Star boats.
It happens every year. Any other interesting or outstanding catches on the board so far?
Not really. We had a big trout over on the west side of the state, a little over 8 pounds. But as we all know, the wind's been blowing, and it's been pretty scattered. Obviously, we had probably some red snapper come in this weekend for the 3-day season, but I think the board is completely wide open. But obviously, you can see the fish are being caught, the tag redfish are being caught, and it's time to get on the water and get registered.
So if someone wants to check that board, how can they do that and keep up with it on a weekly basis?
The easiest way is go to ccastar.com. We have a complete leaderboard. We guarantee it'll be updated every Tuesday. Now, if we get a big leaderboard change in the middle of the week and we have the ability, we will change it. But also follow us on Facebook. It's the CCA Louisiana Star on Facebook and Instagram. If we get some pictures of big fish and leaderboard changes, we'll post it there pretty instantaneous.
All right, let's do some math here. How many of those redfish are still swimming around with tags in them that people still have a lot of time to catch?
97 redfish are left and 50 trout are left. So plenty.
And how do they go about getting them signed up and registered?
The easiest way, go to ccastar.com or go to any of the weigh stations across the coast that are listed on the website, or any Academy Sports and Outdoors locations. Right. But you got to be registered before you fish. And look, besides the heaviest fish divisions and the tag redfish division, you also keep in mind, get your kids entered. It is the easiest way to win. You only have to have a trout or a flounder over 14 inches. You can bring it to one of the weigh stations and they will fill out a weigh form, or you can take a picture of that fish on a ruler with your child in the background. Send me their information to rad@ccalouisiana.com and we'll instantly enter you just like this kid did last weekend.
Absolutely. We'll be back with more. You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Introducing Powerade Ion 4, complete with 4 electrolytes lost in sweat. Powerade Ion 4, the complete sports drink.
Stay tuned for more of Paradise, Louisiana.
Ask me about my Tempur-Pedic.
Ask me how fast I fall asleep.
Why not talk to someone who's sleeping on the most highly recommended bed in America?
Ask me about staying asleep.
Tempur-Pedic owners are more satisfied than owners of any traditional mattress brand.
Ask me how it feels after 10 years.
Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America.
Ask about Tempur-Pedic at Olin's, where you always get the guaranteed low price. Olin's is the only store in Baton Rouge and Lafayette with the full line of Tempur-Pedics.
right, we're fishing on the first day of that long 3-day snapper season. Took us longer to get here than to catch our limit. Chris, the snapper out here, the population's unbelievable. What has this done to your business, to the charter industry?
Well, I mean, it's caused us to diversify more. You know, we're doing more, more blue water fishing, cobia fishing, sword fishing. We've had to really spread it out. And we did get 49 days, which is great, and I'm extremely thankful for that. But in that 30 and 49 day period, I may do 30 tuna trips, blue water trips. You actually don't get the snapper clientele that we all have had in the past.
What you got, Martha? I guarantee it'll get on the board. You ain't got nothing else there, right?
Exactly.
Keep that one. Oh my gosh! That's ah. There's nothing easy about snapper fishing. Ah.
So, for Storm, we've got over 25 divisions, lots of inshore, also offshore. And just so you know, snapper's gonna last all summer. And that is what you're looking for.
Oh, that double bait might have been a bad idea. There we go. A double bait tactic.
How much input did they ask from you? You're out here,
None.
you see the fish,
None.
you're catching the fish. They're in Washington making decisions.
Yeah, none. Yeah. And I mean, we're out here 100 days a year or more, and not to mention, I live at the marina, so I mean, you see it. You can actually go to all the marine operators, and I'm sure, Johnny Glover, the guys at Bill Butler, Buggy, Butch, all those guys. I mean, they could really tell you. I mean, we could set a season. You know what I mean? But it's complicated. Obviously, it's more complicated than I understand because it's real simple to us.
Mackerel in there and jack. Oh, there you go.
See him. Look, he's coming. He's coming. He's coming.
Oh! Got him! Holy moose, cobia!
Who lost it?
I did. I lost it over here.
Not on that one.
See, I lost
Look, I left the drag light so you can.
Oh my gosh.
See if they got anything following it. So when you get tired of catching your limit of snapper, go for the lemon fish or cobia. There's lots of big ones out here.
Hey Don, do you need another beer?
No, just take your time. I'll get one later on.
Don, should I start cleaning those fish for you now, or should I wait till we get back to the dock?
Oh, you can wait till we get back to the dock.
Are you sure you're good? Do you need anything?
No, I'm good for now. Let's just kind of chill out for the ride back here.
Okay, sounds good.
Gary, eat your heart out. And this is Paradise, Louisiana.
Stay tuned for more Paradise, Louisiana.
As members of a Touchstone Energy cooperative, we've all got a job to do. And the more we work together, the more we save. That's the power of your co-op membership.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy cooperative.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana at Bergeron's Restaurant, Port Allen, Louisiana. Rad Trasher, director of the Star Rodeo, is with us. And Rad, we got to share a boat during those 3 very scarce days of federal water red snapper season. Actually, it wasn't as bad as what the weather forecast was, and a lot of people got out, and I think we'll be surprised to see how well everybody did out there.
Well, as we know, Don, I mean, the red snapper is so plentiful. As long as you can brave the waters, catching them was not that hard. We were fortunate, you and I, to be on one of the bigger, bay boats around, a 39 Venture. But it was easy for us, and I know over the weekend we had a lot of fish caught. They're so plentiful, they're out there, but it is a shame that you have 3 days. And unfortunately, a lot of people push their limits because they only get those 3 days, and that's what we really want to avoid.
The fish are being mismanaged right now. There's no doubt about it. The science is not accurate in regard to the science the council's using to determine the management practices. I mean, all you need to do is go back and look when we were kids when you could fish nearly year round, to come into this year when you can only fish for 3 days. And what added insult to injury is the disparity between what happens on the rec side versus the commercial. So I think that we get better science. I think that we can improve or grow the overall pie of fish that can be harvested on an annual basis, and certainly help out the recreational folks. But I'll tell you, we've been talking with the new Trump administration folks about just how to do this, and we've got some ideas, I think, on how you can do a short-term solution and how you can also work a long-term solution to make sure that 2018 and beyond we have better access to the fish.
I think everybody just needs to really come together on all 3 or however many sides it is. One priority has to be that the small summer that we have, you need that. You need a longer period of time for people to take advantage, validate their real estate purchases, their boat purchases, all their time and effort they put in.
And obviously, we don't need a reduction of effort. We need a change in management and a change in the science and what we're allowed to catch. We need to be able to manage it regionally, manage the fish that we have, and go after and have a good time, and let marina owners and recreational fishermen just go enjoy it. There's plenty of fish there, as you've seen today. We have, everywhere we stop, we can't get past the red snapper while we're trying to catch mangroves and cobia and other things.
Look, I'll tell you, we saw very few boats today. There were high seas, there was wind, there was rain, but because today is the last day, we saw boats that were going out there. And I'll tell you, I saw boats going out there that I don't think should have been going out there. That were too small of boats. They were out there in rough waters, and I don't think it's safe. And I think by having the Derby season, as you indicated, all you're doing is you are incentivizing or pushing people to go out there in unsafe conditions to go catch fish, because this is the only day they can actually go out there. It's the only weekend day they can go out there and go fish. And like me, like you and many others, we work during the week, and this, the weekend's the only time we have a chance to actually come down here and go fish. And so if people planned this trip from several weeks to perhaps even months away to make sure they caught the season, they're down here, they're going to go fish. And I think it puts people in a dangerous situation, and it once again demonstrates why this is a flawed approach to fisheries management.
What's it look like on the starboard for the red snapper, and how are you handling it now that the season's closed in federal waters?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to leave open the snapper division for the whole length of the tournament. You just have to be abiding by the laws at the time in which you catch it. So you and I could have caught it anywhere in the Gulf on those first 3 days, or if you're with a charter captain the first 49 days. If you're a private angler, once that season's closed, you got to catch it in state waters. But we haven't seen all the waveforms come in at the time that we're taping the show, but I know even Congressman Graves and a few other ones got in the act within some high teens and low 20s. So I think we're going to have some good catches over the weekend.
Well, the Catholic High Rodeo was one of the few rodeos that had the federal waters open at the time their event took place, and they did. They had some good fish in the high teens caught there. What do you predict it's going to take to win the Star eventually? Because you do have that 49-day captain season where somebody could get out in federal waters where the bigger ones might be.
But you know, it's funny. We did the same thing last year, and typically I would say, if you want to win the snapper division, I'd get on a charter fisherman's boat over the next 45 days that are left. But last year it came from state waters, and it was caught in West Delta, and it was 27, 28 pounds. So anything's possible. You just never know.
But you do need to be signed up and registered for that too. Brad, thanks for stopping by and updating us on Star and talking about the snapper season. We'll see you at Swollfest this weekend.
We'll be there.
Grand Isle.
Come down to Swollfest if you haven't ever attended. It's a lot of fun. I will actually be the weighmaster, and it is their 20th anniversary. All the money goes to Children's Hospital in Baton Rouge. Really neat event. Come check us out.
Great cause, and we hope to see you there. We'll be back with more of Paradise, Louisiana.
Watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, one stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana, to the H&H Tournament and Rodeo Report. And we had a lot of them happen last weekend, particularly with the high school alumni. We'll get to that in a minute. But Gary, you were out west at a tournament.
Trout shootout. Salty Catch people, the one that do the big tournament in July at the casino, the Golden Nugget, they took it over. And I'm talking about Crystal LaFosse and her family. They also on Cajun Tackle. The lady is a non-stop promoter, worker, and this tournament was very popular. They had a lot of people signed up. They had bad weather. A lot of times it was raining. I thought I'd black cloud them, but I mean, it come down, cleared up, but there was a lot of fish weighed in. I was a little disappointed in some of the weights that wasn't over 7 pounds, but they had 2 of them pushing 7 pounds. You know, Jared Adams, he was a guide, and he's not guiding anymore, but he got his son fishing and his wife. They all 3 of them placed in the trout division. Jared came in second with a 5.74, and Heather come in fourth with a 4.68. A lot of they have a guide division. Jared didn't fish in it. The winner, Dan Ward, was 6.94. All these fish came in with live. They would release them. If they moved and fin,
right,
they got a bonus. So I was real, all the big ones. The big family affair coming in, the red snapper, there was a few boats that got permits and went off. Some of them turned around and got a little rough. Crystal's mom and dad, Pat, Pam, and her brother, they came in, they took the top 3 places in snapper.
Crystal LaFosse, and welcome to the Salty Catch Trout Shootout. Stay tuned, you're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Welcome to the Salty Catch Trout Shootout.
Jacob Hydrick, and I'm from New Braunfels, Texas.
We're at Willow.
on cut bait out in the Gulf about 40 miles.
On the rock piles.
On the rock
On the rock piles, yes.
Rock piles. Calcasieu rocks. That's where it was at.
Plenty of them. We need a limit of 50 each.
The last day of the season.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
The last day of the federal season. And we got our little bit in.
Sounds like it was a fun time out there.
Oh, absolutely.
It was good. The weather come out. They had a lot of people there were helping. One of them I want to give a shout out to is Pam's grandmother, Pat's mama, Miss Mary LaFosse. She is dynamite. She watches the show. She brought me anything I needed if I wanted food. She stayed on there. She sold hats. She did everything.
She found the key.
You know there was some ice cream involved somewhere.
She's got the key. The way to his heart is through his stomach.
Sandwich,
She figured she got it figured
Now,
out.
look, it works on me too. I got to tell you.
They had hot dogs and hamburgers and Sam. Now tell us about the Catholic High because I went there, visited with you. You had me a little
Catholic
something.
High was, you know, I think it's getting to be one of the biggest rodeos in the state. Right up there with Jesuit and Rummel, and the food was fantastic. It was a little windy, so I think attendance was just a little bit down. But you know, it's a Grand Isle Fouchon community. A lot of camp owners, a lot of people that are coming from Baton Rouge and all over the state. It's a good time. You know, they raised a bunch of money for Catholic High School, and that was the mission. And you know, in a close second to that, it's having fun, and we sure had some fun.
Well, you know, you're a Catholic High graduate. You were a Catholic
No, not
High.
me.
Yeah, you're a Catholic
I
High
went to E.
graduate.
White
What
in
is
Edward
that?
Douglas
Is that
White
a
in
Catholic
Thibodeau.
school?
Well, but it's
I
not
said you're a
Catholic
Catholic high school. That's a Catholic high school.
I am a Catholic high school graduate. Now
Yeah,
that we've,
E.D. White.
Now that we've established that, our weighmaster was Chris Macaluso. Everybody knows C-Mac. He's a Catholic high grad.
And Joe Macaluso is a Jesuit grad, but Joe has been a weighmaster. Just like Don, you've been weighmaster at Rummel for
Since we started the rodeo, 22 years I've been weighing fish over there. And
Wow.
It was a big, you might want to call it a Catholic League rodeo fishing weekend because not only did Rummel have theirs, Shaw had theirs the same
Right.
day, Holy Cross and Brother Martin.
Wow.
The only one that was having it on a different weekend is Jesuit, and they always do
coming
things
up
a little
this
different.
week.
They always do.
Jesuit.
Yeah,
they-
that's
they
right.
did.
That's right.
But the Rummel Rodeo is not a big full-blown rodeo. It's strictly inshore. It's become a rodeo and fest with a lot of heavy focus on bringing the kids and the teenagers out there. Weather was off on that side of the state, and it kept the attendance down. A lot of the kids didn't come out because it was there at Rummel on Severn Avenue in Metairie. And the people that did come had a really good time. And the fishermen that got out fished real hard. Team Candyman, I got to hand it to them. They fished all day in some really tough conditions in Venice. They pulled off the Best Boat Award, won the speckled trout categories. In the kid division, my little nephew, grandnephew Gary, you know, we talk about that, Drew Dubuque, he walked away with a bunch of trophies. They really had some nice awards. If you look at some of these aluminum fish replicas, these were the first place award winners that won that. Pretty much filled up the whole board. And we're looking forward to year number 23 next year.
You know, the big news, and I know you and I are going down together, is the 20th anniversary of Swole Fest Rodeo. And this year, it's benefiting Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital. Over the last 20 years, Nick Robber and that group have raised $1,200,000 for various charities.
And they do what they do a lot for the other organizations. I can imagine what they're shooting for right now is to bring a big, big check to the Children's Hospital because everything right now, the new Children's Hospital is all about go.
And I'll be at Swole Fest too. Looks like all of us, and a guy coming up a little bit later on the show, Rad Trash, will be there. So we're going to have a reunion.
Wow.
Come see us at Sand Dollar Marina in Grand Isle this weekend.
Swollfest.com, SWOLLFEST.com.
And get Gary to tell you a story of where that name came from. We'll be right back with more of Paradise, Louisiana.
Hi, I'm John Jackson, and you know we always say we gather our groceries out the bayou. Whether it's freshwater, saltwater, catfish, redfish, you have tons of choices when it comes to fish in Louisiana. But when I fry fish, there's only one choice, and that's Louisiana fish fry. My new favorite, the Cajun fish fry, has the perfect amount of cornmeal, corn flour, and the perfect mix of spices that really bring the heat. Hey, if you're craving Cajun, go look for the bright red bag at your local grocers. Bring home the taste of Louisiana with Louisiana Fish Fry.
The CCA Louisiana Star Tournament is doubling down this year. Double the tagged redfish. Twice the trucks. Over $500,000 of prizes awarded in more than 20 categories. Open to all ages, inshore and offshore, youth enter free. Don't let your chance to win swim away. Register at ccastar.com or at any Academy Sports and Outdoors. Welcome to the Flambeau Outdoor News segment on Paradise, Louisiana. And Gary, we've been talking a lot about the snapper controversy, the pilot program that Wildlife and Fisheries is trying to implement, and the opposition they're getting to it. In our legislature, we had some activity. There was HCR, House Concurrent Resolution 113 by Representative Ivey, which basically would urge the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries not to proceed with that pilot program of giving those fish to 150 fishermen, 25,000 pounds of snapper. It passed the House 85-6. When it got on the Senate side, it went 29-0. So there's no love for that program in the Louisiana legislature. How much teeth that'll have, we'll have to see that. Some other good news came from North Louisiana. Toledo Bend's Lunker bass replicas. We talk about that all the time. 72 bass replicas to the anglers at Toledo Bend. They made that presentation a couple of weeks ago. That's the third highest number of lunkers ever caught and the replicas awarded in a single year. Good news on bass fishing status in Toledo Bend.
Yeah, because there was a little talk about the grass and everything then and right now. By the way, the grass is coming back. We're getting other words. Third largest, yeah, but just a year or so ago, it was the number one. We had the number one total of fish being caught that were replicas over 10 pounds. Still of them are being caught, and when we get to the fish report, I got some more to say about that. Don, you got anything else? I was going to tell you right now. Some people call me, you don't know the spelling bees, how popular they are this time of year. Well, there's a rumor, because I didn't see it, but one of our friends, one of your fans, called himself and said he heard that tefunctor was one of the words that was in the last round to spell, tefunctor. And you told me, being a writer and reporter, there's two ways to spell it. Now, I'm not going to attempt to spell it. I wrote it down, but congratulations, just to let you know, South Louisiana again in the national news, even on spelling.
Congratulations to that student that spelled it, because Gary has a hard time pronouncing it much less spelling.
Yeah, I did. Then, you know, I just want to remind you of some of the big rodeos were coming up. The Grand Isle Slam's coming up. They also got news, the Girl Scouts. They had a group of Girl Scouts from Dallas, Texas. They were in Natchitoches Parish, had to get rescued on Sabine. They were out at night. Parents got, all of them was safe. On March 29th, shout out to Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries. They found them about 2 o'clock in the morning. They're all being taken care of, though. They were all tough Girl Scouts. They knew what to do. They did everything right, and they were found. So thank them. Also check the Wildlife and Fisheries website. There's a lot of them closed. One of them is Dewey Wells. You know, the Mississippi River is coming up. It did crest. So things might be changing from week to week. But if you want to know how it is, we're going to see how the high water. We got that frog tournament and anything outdoors is coming up on the weekend of 24th. So check it out. Check it out right now at the end of the year. And I want to congratulate Mark Fontenot. Mark, I've seen him at the Duck Festival all the time with his decoys. One of his friends, he got the same name, but just a friend, Carl Fontenot, told me this weekend that he had won a big national award. And I said, well, I wonder if Mark is going to be at La Rose, because I saw that when we were down there. La Rose this weekend had a decoy contest. Mark did well. He took first place in the species of ringnet, and his coot took in second place. So when I found out more about his national award, congratulations, it's a dying art. And Don, I think that's all I got.
All right, well, we'll be right back with the Berkeley Abu Garcia Fishing Report here on Paradise, Louisiana.
Good old sockeye. This might not be the most fierce fighting fish that we fish for on Dockside TV, but it is most certainly the tastiest. I'm going to show you a few tricks and techniques on this episode of Dockside TV. Stay tuned. Another nice crappie. There's another good one for the pan. Using the old ladies' night. Got it on a 1/8 ounce, and the reason we fish such a heavy jig head, 1/8 is considered pretty heavy for crappie. Got it on a 1/8 ounce. That's the ladies' night Matrix Mini. And we use that 1/8 because this lake that we're fishing's got 15 to 20 foot of water, and we got to get it down. Now, let me show you what we do when we catch a crappie in this deep water. We're basically just drifting across a big open body of water. There's no real structure in the middle. We throw these orange buoys out. You can see that orange buoy right there when we catch one. Once we catch the first fish, throw that buoy out, and it gives us a reference point of where we need to continue casting. So we cast it out just like we deep water jig for all other species. Let it get all the way to the bottom. Sometimes that crappie will snatch that lure on the way down, but typically we let it get all the way to the bottom, and we just slowly drag it across that bottom. And usually when we catch one, throw that buoy out. We'll stick anywhere from 4 or 5 to 15 to 20 around the buoy, and once it fizzles out, pick the buoy back up, start our drift again, look for some more. So, see if we can catch another one. This Matrix Mini that we created really has a nice action to it. It is the Matrix Shad, but scaled down to the exact proportion. So it is exactly what its name. It's the Matrix Mini. It's the exact same design, same mold, same everything, but shrunk down. We made it especially for these crappie, but it does well on catching speckled trout, small bass, things of that nature, brim. And you can see the action on it. You know, a lot of crappie jigs out there are simple tube jigs where they just bounce up and down, but look at this one in the water as it swims. It's got an actual paddle tail, so it swims naturally in the water. particular lake has a lot of black crappie. Not too big ones either. This is an average size here, about 10 inches. But they all are very, very tasty. And that's one fish we don't throw back too often. So, here on Dockside TV, we fish everything from speckled trout, flounder, bass, redfish. We've even been across the border fishing snook using nothing but Matrix Shed products. So to check out all our episodes of Dockside TV, make sure to go to matrixshed.com and subscribe to our Dockside TV channel. And if you like fishing sockeye and want to learn some tips and use the Matrix Mini, target sockeye, we have several sockeye videos, also known as the crappie. So just Google search Dockside TV, crappie, or sockeye, also known as the white perch. Until next time, good fishing. We're going to try to fill up the ice chest so we can have some for the frying pan when we get home.
Hey, I'm Mitch Rotolo, owner of Rotolo's Pizzeria. Our pizzas are prepared every day using the freshest ingredients. But Rotolo's has so much more to offer than just delicious pizza. We have an array of healthy salads and tasty wraps, a wide choice of pasta like spaghetti and chicken parmesan, zesty buffalo wings, and our selection of savory calzones. And don't forget to try one of our amazing desserts. Come into any of our local restaurants or check out our entire menu online at rotolos.com. That's just the way we Rotolo.
Welcome to the Berkeley Abu Garcia Fishing Report. Gary, we got to start offshore. We've shown a lot of footage already, but the offshore fishing for those red snapper was excellent, despite some iffy weather during those 3 days, and hopefully that will continue. Boat I was on, Martha Spencer, WGNO TV, caught a huge, almost 50-pound cobia, lemonfish, put up a really good fight. This is a little early for cobia to be showing up, but according to Captain Chris Moran, he's got some spots and he's been locating them pretty good. Not a lot of reports on the tuna, but there was a wahoo caught that was a pretty nice fish too this week.
On that trip, yeah. I mean, also they have some, I got a picture somebody sent me. I can't even pronounce his name. And this is, his name is Corey, I-L-L-G. Corey, thank you, is offshore. He got some video, and he caught a wahoo. He got a picture offshore of a big wahoo. By the way, Joe and them were with another captain. We'll show you some of that video next week. They had a couple wahoo on them. They were fishing a rip, and they were fishing behind those boats out on those shrimp boats. And there's a lot of fish have been caught offshore, and we're here. But you see the snapper still. Even coming in close, we was at John Donahue's camp, and Sam and over there, she took some video, and I took a couple stills of it. Look. Cheerleaders said, well, all of them on the boat, everybody was catching John Donahue and them, some beautiful snapper. By the way, the cheerleaders, Coach O's home school there, south of Fuchs right there, so they were all there, and I even gave them a cheer. You're watching Paradise, Louisiana. So we got them, also, that's what I got offshore, but if you're gonna stay in saltwater, Danica and her daughter, Peyton, you know, that's Captain CT, his wife and them, she didn't put where they were fishing, but there's a beautiful fish, a big bull red. And I was telling you that in the feet right now, I'm still getting a bunch of pictures of people catching trout. Because Captain Scott Poche and a bunch of them groups there, Mark Barker and his family, they're still catching fish. Ed Sexton, fishing downriver in Venice. He got his granddaughter, Olivia Sexton, with a 17-pound redfish. He even sent me a little video. By the way, when y'all send these videos, you turn them right. Sometimes Chris will let us use them. It all depends on Chris Lecoq, so whether we run them or not. So we do it. So if people are sending me, I appreciate it. But if it's not quality for TV, Chris won't run it. So, and Grand Isle, Tommy Vidrine, and they're still smoking them. He took John Dodge in them there. They're catching croaker. As soon as the weather settles down or if it gets calm, got to a rainstorm, he goes out there fishing the rocks, fishing the beach, catch them on live poker. Still the #1 bait, live poker for big trout. You saw that in the trout rodeo. The redfish in the marsh, Ed Berman sent me one. You see what Jared Adams and them were catching those fish out at Big Lake. I thought because of what it was, water's been muddy and the salinity's been down. Been telling everybody ain't catching fish. My brother Jerry went out with a guide. They had to work hard. They caught 30 trout in the West Coast. He was telling me it wasn't no good on the pier, so I could relax and fish under the light on that end of the lake. It hadn't been that good. Jared Adams told me I was full of bull. All those big trout he caught them was within a mile of my brother's camp there on the northeast corner. So still croaker. It was the #1 bait they had over there. And the poultry, the little bait, that top water soft bait, that's where the guy caught his big fish on, trout, in Big Lake. Breton Island, Deborah Duggan's here, it was a big trout. Leeville, Joyce Beebe, High Water Charter sending me some, but most of these are redfish caught on minnows. When I was fishing with John Chauvin, we were fishing over there at the media day. The young lady was with us. He was putting cockahoe minnows under a carp. She was whipping our behind with cockahoe minnows in that grass in shallow water. And she was smoking those good.
Ain't nothing worse than getting you behind whipped with cockahoe minnows. I can
by
tell you that. By a woman, too.
And by
yeah,
a woman that ain't been
tough.
fishing in years.
That's tough.
So in Leeville, that's a hot topic right now. All up in the marsh, you can see where we're fishing. And watch it in a couple of weeks, and you can see how that lady's strapped it
Speaking
on.
of Breton Island, got some more pictures in from Captain Tofield Bourgeois. He's been flying out there, had a bunch of Texans went out there and made a really nice haul in short time over there, fishing the top waters and some plastics over in Breton Island.
We see what we got. Let me run through it now. I told you about Olivia Sexton, the redfish in the marsh. Jared Adams and his family have been doing great. Did I leave anything out? No, I didn't. So
all right, fresh water.
Fresh water.
There's a lot of fresh water around.
I was talking
all
about
this rain.
Catfish. Catfish everywhere. Every time I see people just talking, some of them ain't sending me pictures, but Lake Verrette's still one of the hottest places around right now. False River, they're catching catfish, they're using shiners. I've even getting reports of Lake Verrette that catch them on crickets. They fish in Bremen, still catching a bunch of catfish. You see a lot of people right now noodling, using jug fishing all over Lake Fawcett Point. Getting a report there from Todd Johnson. Bayou Black, catfish. Let me tell you what, the Mahas have been down there working out, had grandkids, black and chartreuse jigs, sac-a-lait, all over, especially when there's grass out in the middle of the canals. Lake Verrette, same thing. On the east side of Lake Verrette, if the wind is blowing bad and roughing up one end, make sure you go around and put in. But if your camp is where you can cross the lake safely, you go over there and you get up under the trees, the bluegill are in there also. Toledo Bend, sac-a-lait reports I'm getting from the guides, bass are still being caught. I got David Hudley there send me 2 big bass he caught on crankbait. So on Memorial Day weekend. Kenny Waldrop, Outdoor Express, Lake des Almas, sac-a-lait, brim, catfish, bass. Kenny's been catching them out on the Delta lures, on the spinnerbaits and jigs. Kenny Waldrop and Big Ed, they're sending me these reports from Outdoor Express. If you want some news and you're going down that way, just stop at Outdoor Express. Good friends, they're not a sponsor, but I tell you what, you can get all the information, what baits they're biting on or whatever, wherever you go. Whether you go over there, you can be with the crappie psychic. I haven't a report from him, but They tell me he's going nationwide right now. He's got some new products that are going out. So, well, I don't know if we're going to hear from him. So.
You know, I just wanted to mention, you're talking about stopping at some of these places to get advice. Bayou Adventures, where we've been taping a couple of shows on Bayou Lacombe. Forrest Green, he sets up over there every Thursday evening. He gives a little demonstration and seminar about what's going on, so you might want to stop by there and see Shannon and Jeff and take in that little seminar. Ask any questions. That's what they're there in business for, to help you catch fish.
Then that goes for anywhere that you fish. You see the reference to where we fishing right now, where we put in the new Island Marina over there.
Right.
Anytime you go there, especially Bridgeside and Sand Dollar, them guides are coming in, Buggy and Butch and them, they'll tell you anything you want to know. They'll tell you when they use live shrimp. If they don't have them, they'll tell you what plastics are working and what you can buy. So anywhere you go. And I want to give a shout out to Taylor Bernard. He's going to learn. He sends me 2 different emails. Send me a picture, but he don't send me the names all the time. But Taylor Bernard has been fishing in the Pat's Bay area where he's moved to Lake Verret. He's catching brim and catfish, and he's still fishing those crickets. Taylor, thank you. You're getting it straight now, though, getting better.
That's our fishing report. You can help us out getting these fishing reports by sending your information, the where, the when, the why, the who, and the what, and a picture to Gary at Paradise, Louisiana. We'll have it on for you next week, right back here at Paradise, Louisiana.
Hey there, I'm Captain Matt McCabe of Pro Edge Fishing Charters, and got a little tech tip today. We're going to do a FG knot, which is a way that we join our fluorocarbon to our braid. So it's a little bit involved, a little bit intense. A lot of people like to look it up on the internet and see a way to do it. This is the way I'm comfortable doing it. So, but I'm going to weave this 10-pound fluorocarbon to the braided line and tie a knot, and it just allows me to use more braid and less fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon's expensive. It retains memory, and a lot of times, you know, you can get 4 or 5 trips out of it and you're changing it out. It gets expensive. So this way I'm only changing 30 yards out instead of 100. So what I'm going to do is I've wrapped this is the braided line, and I've wrapped it around my fingers, and I'm trying to achieve a workable loop. So everything's kind of got to be tight with this. Use my index finger and do it 20 times. Okay, now I'm done there, and I unwrap it off my hand, and you kind of just pull everything tight. So now what you're going to do, but I have my main line and my tag line of my braid, and I also have left over is my fluorocarbon. So what you're going to do is take your tag line of your braid and do 2 overhand knots over both your braid and your main line. There's 1. There's 2. Okay, and then you get your fluorocarbon out of the way. Of course, this wind is being a little tricky. And then get the fluorocarbon out of the way, and 2 more overhand knots. And then your last overhand knot, you're going to wrap twice. Once, twice, and that seals the knot off. Okay, then you take your scissors and you cut everything very close. And then you take your scissors and cut this fluorocarbon close. All right, so then what I like to do with it is once I do that, I'll put my hand here, take my foot off the spool. Okay, the knot just hit my reel. 5 more cranks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Measure it down to the base of my reel, and that basically gives me about 35 yards of leader. And the reason I like to do that is a lot of times fishing the bridges, when you do get a bite and you're kind of in close quarters, we're pitching to pounds. That knot's on your reel when you're setting a hook, but you got a lot of castability, a lot of sensitivity with your braid, and we're still using fluorocarbon. And that's the FG knot. That's how I do it.
Paradise, Louisiana is presented by Rotolo's Pizzeria. Fresh ingredients, friendly service. That's just the way we Rotolo. Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. Pro Drive Outboards. Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Cracker Barrel Convenience Stores. We have more than you expect. Always fresh, never frozen, Raising Cane's. Louisiana Fish Fry Products. And by CCA Louisiana and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament.